Have you ever found yourself overanalyzing a man's actions, wondering if he truly likes you or if he's just being nice? It's a frustrating feeling. Reading between the lines, second-guessing every interaction, hoping to decode his true intentions. The truth is, men are often less verbal about their emotions, but their actions speak louder than words. A man who genuinely likes you won't always say it outright, but he will show it in ways that are undeniable if you know what to look for. And once you understand these signs, you'll never have to question his feelings again. Psychologists have long studied the way human attraction works, and one key truth always stands out. When a man is interested in you, his subconscious behaviors give him away. He doesn't have to force it, and he certainly doesn't have to play games. The effort he puts in, the small things he remembers, and the way he prioritizes you over everything else. These are not coincidences, they are intentional. Attraction is not a passive experience for men. When they are drawn to someone, they instinctively invest time, attention, and energy into making sure that person feels special. They don't just go with the flow, they make things happen. Think about it. When a man is only mildly interested, his actions are inconsistent. He might text you one day and disappear the next. He might make plans but never follow through. He keeps things vague, avoids depth, and offers just enough effort to keep you wondering. That's not attraction. That's convenience. But when a man truly likes you, there is a shift. Suddenly, you become a priority, not an option. He doesn't just fit you into his life, he makes space for you. That's how you know the difference. Now, let's get deeper into the psychology of why this happens. Men are wired to be action-oriented. Unlike women, who often express feelings through words, men rely on what they do to convey emotions. A man who genuinely likes you will want to prove his interest through tangible actions, showing up, being present, making an effort. In psychology, this is called investment behavior. When someone is emotionally connected, they instinctively invest their time and energy because they see value in the connection. It's the same reason why people dedicate themselves to careers, hobbies, or goals that matter to them. They don't just talk about it, they act on it. The same rule applies to relationships. This is why it's so important to pay attention to what a man does, not just what he says. Does he remember things you casually mentioned weeks ago? Does he make time for you even when he's busy? Does he show up for you in ways that feel genuine and consistent? These are the moments that reveal his true feelings. Words can be rehearsed, but effort cannot be faked over time. A man's actions will always betray his real emotions, no matter how hard he tries to hide them. There's another fascinating aspect of attraction that often goes unnoticed. When a man likes you, his behavior around you subtly changes. You might notice small shifts in his posture, his tone, even his eye contact. Studies have shown that men unconsciously mirror the body language of women they are attracted to. If you lean in, he leans in. If you smile, he smiles back. It's not something he's doing consciously. It's his mind responding to the emotional pull he feels towards you. That's why even the most composed men start to fidget, adjust their appearance, or unconsciously straighten their posture when they are around someone they deeply admire. But here's the real question: why do so many women miss these signs? The answer is simple. Too many people confuse mixed signals with genuine attraction. They focus on hope rather than evidence. They get caught up in the potential of what could be instead of seeing the reality of what is. The hard truth is, if you constantly find yourself questioning a man's feelings, it's probably because he's not showing enough effort to begin with. A man who genuinely likes you won't leave you in a state of confusion. He will make it clear through his actions. So, before you lose sleep over analyzing his every move, take a step back and observe. Does he make you a priority? Does he put in consistent effort? Does he show up in ways that make you feel valued and appreciated? Because the truth is, when a man truly likes you, you won't have to guess. You'll know. When a man genuinely likes you, he won't just say it, he will show it. And one of the biggest ways he does this is by making you a priority in his life. This isn't just about spending time together when it's convenient for him. It's about the effort he puts in, the choices he makes, and the way he subtly rearranges his world to include you. Because when a man truly values you, You won't be an afterthought. You'll be part of his plans, his decisions, and his daily life in a way that feels natural, not forced. Psychologists have studied human behavior for years, and one undeniable truth remains. People prioritize what they truly care about. If something matters to us, whether it's a goal, a passion, or a person, we naturally make time for it. This is why when a man likes you, his actions will reflect that. He won't just talk about wanting to see you, he will make time to see you. He won't leave plans up in the air, waiting for something better to come along. He will commit and follow through. He won't make excuses about being too busy, because no matter how demanding his schedule is, he will find a way to include you in it. That's how human nature works. What we value, we prioritize. Think about it. How many times have you met someone who sends mixed signals? One moment he's attentive and engaging, the next he disappears for days. He texts inconsistently, cancels plans at the last minute, or keeps you in a state of uncertainty. That's not prioritization. That's convenience, and there's a massive difference between the two. A man who prioritizes you doesn't treat you like an option, he treats you like someone who matters. There's a deep psychological reason behind this. Men are naturally wired to invest their energy into things they find valuable. When a man is genuinely interested in you, his investment behavior shifts. He starts to put effort into making you feel seen, heard, and appreciated. It's not about grand romantic gestures or over-the-top declarations. It's about the consistency in his small, everyday actions. Maybe it's him calling just to hear your voice, remembering something important you told him, or adjusting his schedule so he can spend time with you. These aren't random behaviors. They are clear indicators that he sees you as someone significant in his life. Another key sign that a man is prioritizing you is the way he responds to challenges. Life is unpredictable, and schedules get hectic. But when a man truly likes you, he won't let external circumstances dictate his effort. He won't disappear when things get stressful or pull away when he's busy. Instead, he will find ways to stay connected, even in the smallest ways. A quick text to check in, a phone call to let you know he's thinking of you. These things don't take much time, but they say everything about where his priorities lie. When a man values you, he makes sure you feel valued no matter what's happening in his life. Now, let's talk about the difference between attention and prioritization. Many people mistake one for the other, but they are not the same. Attention is easy. It's a text here, a compliment there, a brief moment of engagement that makes you feel noticed. But prioritization is deeper. It's sustained effort. It's consistency. It's the kind of behavior that makes you feel secure instead of anxious. A man who prioritizes you doesn't just show interest when it's convenient. He shows up for you when it matters. So how do you know if a man is truly prioritizing you? Ask yourself this. Does he make an effort to spend time with you, even when life gets busy? Does he follow through on his words with actions? Does he make you feel important, or does he leave you questioning where you stand? The answers to these questions reveal everything you need to know. Because the truth is, when a man genuinely likes you, you won't have to wonder. You won't have to chase his attention, decode his mixed signals, or feel like an afterthought. He will make you a priority, not because he has to, but because he wants to, and that's the kind of effort that speaks louder than any words ever could. When a man truly likes you, he doesn't just engage in surface-level conversations. He listens, not the passive kind of listening where he nods along while waiting for his turn to speak, but the deep, intentional kind of listening where he absorbs your words, remembers the details, and responds in ways that make you feel truly understood. This isn't just about casual interest, it's about emotional investment. Because when a man is genuinely drawn to you, he doesn't just hear what you say, he values it. There's a profound psychological reason behind this. Human beings are wired for connection, but men in particular show their emotional engagement differently than women do. While women often express feelings through words, men demonstrate their interest through attention and action. If he remembers the small things, the way you take your coffee, a childhood story you mentioned once, or your favorite song, he's not just being polite. He's storing those details because they matter to him. This is what psychologists call active recall, a phenomenon where the brain prioritizes information that is emotionally significant. And in relationships, this is a powerful indicator of genuine interest. Think about the times you've spoken to someone who was only half listening. They might nod, say yeah a few times, but when you bring up the same topic later, they have no recollection of it. That's because they weren't truly engaged. Now compare that to a man who not only remembers what you said, but brings it up at the right moment, offering encouragement when you're nervous about something you told him weeks ago, surprising you with something meaningful based on an old conversation, or simply referencing a detail that proves he was paying attention. That's not just listening, that's caring, but it goes even deeper. A man who truly listens doesn't just remember facts, he engages with your emotions. He picks up on what excites you, what upsets you, what makes you feel alive. He doesn't brush off your worries with empty reassurances. He acknowledges them, validates them, and makes an effort to understand. This is what sets apart a man who likes you from a man who is merely interested in keeping the conversation going. When a man truly listens, you feel safe opening up because you know he values your thoughts, not just the sound of your voice. And here's something even more telling. When a man genuinely likes you, he listens, even when the topic doesn't necessarily interest him. Maybe you're passionate about something he doesn't fully understand, like a book series, a hobby, or a subject outside his expertise. If he asks thoughtful questions, encourages you to talk more about it, or tries to engage in your world, that's a sign of deep investment. He's not just listening to respond, he's listening to connect. Because when a man is drawn to you, your interests become important to him because they are important to you. Now let's talk about the subtle ways a man reveals his deep listening skills. Watch how he reacts when you talk about something that matters to you. Does he pause and take it in before responding? Does he make an effort to see things from your perspective instead of immediately giving his opinion? Does he circle back to the topic later, proving that your words left an impact? These are the signs of a man who isn't just hearing you, he's internalizing what you say. But here's the key. A man who listens consistently is far different from a man who listens selectively. Some men listen just enough to create the illusion of interest. They'll remember just enough details to keep you engaged, but their effort is sporadic, not genuine. One moment they seem tuned in, the next they're distant and disengaged. That's not true listening, that's manipulation. The real difference lies in consistency. If a man values you, he won't just listen when it benefits him, he will listen because he genuinely wants to understand you. So how do you know if a man truly likes you? Pay attention to how he listens. Does he remember the little things? Does he make you feel heard and understood? Does he engage with your emotions, not just your words? If the answer is yes, then you have something rare, because a man who truly listens is a man who truly cares. And that is something you should never take for granted. When a man truly likes you, he doesn't just enjoy spending time with you. He makes an effort to impress you. But this isn't about showing off or trying to be someone he's not. It's about a natural, subconscious desire to be seen as worthy in your eyes. This effort manifests in countless ways, from the way he carries himself around you, to the small but meaningful ways he tries to stand out. Because when a man genuinely likes you, he doesn't want to be just another person in your life. He wants to be the person who captures your attention. Psychologists have long studied this behavior, and there's a clear pattern. When a man is interested in someone, his body language shifts, his voice subtly deepens, and his overall presence becomes more engaged. This is rooted in evolutionary psychology, the need to attract and secure a connection with someone he finds valuable. It's why you'll notice that he might fix his posture when you enter the room, adjust his clothes, or even speak with a bit more confidence. He wants to put his best foot forward, not because he's trying to be deceptive, but because he instinctively wants you to see him in the best possible light. But beyond body language, his effort to impress you comes in the form of actions. He'll go out of his way to showcase his strengths, not in an arrogant way, but in a manner that signals he wants to be someone you admire. Maybe he shares stories about his achievements, subtly highlighting his ambition and work ethic. Maybe he goes the extra mile to do something thoughtful for you, whether it's remembering your favorite coffee order or offering help when you need it. He's not doing these things for validation, he's doing them because he wants you to recognize his value. There's a key difference between a man who tries to impress you and a man who simply seeks attention. The latter might rely on superficial tactics, flashy gestures, exaggerated stories, or trying too hard to appear cool. But a man who truly likes you doesn't rely on theatrics. Instead, he showcases his best qualities naturally through his actions. He demonstrates reliability, intelligence, kindness, and confidence, not because he's performing, but because he wants you to see who he really is. Another crucial indicator is effort over time. A man who is only interested in temporary validation will put in a burst of energy at the beginning, but quickly lose motivation once the initial excitement fades. However, a man who genuinely likes you will consistently put in effort, even when the novelty of attraction has settled into something deeper. He doesn't just impress you at the start, he continues to show up, in small and big ways, because he truly values your presence in his life. And it's not just about what he does for you. It's about what he does around you. Pay attention to how he behaves when you're present. Does he try to elevate conversations, bringing more depth and thoughtfulness to his words? Does he subtly highlight his good qualities without forcing them? Does he make an effort to be emotionally present rather than distracted or disengaged? These are the signs of a man who wants to impress you because he sees you as someone special. But here's where it gets even more telling. A man who genuinely likes you will also be receptive to your thoughts and opinion. If he's truly invested, he won't just try to impress you on his own terms. He'll pay attention to what you value. If you admire intelligence, he'll engage in meaningful conversations. If you appreciate kindness, he'll make an effort to be considerate in ways that matter to you. He doesn't just want to be seen as impressive, he wants to be impressive to you. So, how do you know if a man truly likes you? Watch the effort he puts into making a meaningful impression. Not just once, not just at the beginning, but consistently. If he takes pride in how he presents himself around you, if he subtly or openly tries to highlight his best qualities, and if he genuinely seeks to be a better version of himself because of your presence, then it's clear. He isn't just interested, he cares. And that, more than anything, is a powerful sign of true attraction. When a man truly likes you, he doesn't just go through the motions of being present. He actively prioritizes you. And this isn't about grand gestures or over-the-top declarations. It's about the subtle, consistent ways he makes you an important part of his life. Because when a man is genuinely interested in you, you won't have to question where you stand. He won't leave you guessing, and he certainly won't make you feel like an afterthought. Instead, he will show you time and time again that you matter. There's a deep psychological reason behind this. Human beings naturally invest their time and energy into what they value most. If a man likes you, he will carve out space for you in his schedule, no matter how busy he is. It's not about having endless amounts of free time, it's about making time. He won't just talk about seeing you, he'll follow through. He won't just send a quick text when it's convenient. He'll engage in meaningful conversations because he genuinely wants to connect. This is what separates real interest from passive attraction. A man who prioritizes you isn't just interested when it's easy. He makes an effort, even when it requires adjusting his plans, his routine, or his comfort zone. But it goes even deeper than time. Prioritization is also about emotional availability. A man who truly likes you will be present when he's with you, not distracted, not half listening, not scrolling through his phone while you talk. He'll engage with you fully, making you feel seen, heard, and valued. This is a subconscious way of signaling you are important to me, and that feeling of being prioritized is one of the most telling signs of a man's genuine interest. Pay attention to how he responds when you need him. Does he check in on you when you've had a rough day? Does he remember the little things you mentioned, following up because he cares? Does he make sure to include you in his life, not just in his free time, but in the moments that truly matter to him? A man who likes you won't just make plans when he's bored or lonely. He'll invite you into his world because he wants you to be part of it. And here's something even more revealing. A man who prioritizes you won't just be there when things are fun and easy. He'll be there when things are hard. It's easy to show up for lighthearted moments, but true prioritization means being present during challenges, stress, and uncertainty. If he truly likes you, he won't disappear when life gets complicated. He'll stay. He'll support, and he'll make an effort to show up even when it's inconvenient, because that's what prioritization really means. But let's talk about the contrast. What happens when a man doesn't prioritize you? The signs are just as clear. He's inconsistent, he makes vague plans but rarely follows through. He talks about how much he likes you but doesn't actually show it in ways that matter. He might reach out when it's convenient for him, but when you need something he's suddenly unavailable. If a man is genuinely interested, he will make it clear. If he's not, he will leave you wondering. And in relationships, uncertainty is often an answer in itself. There's a saying that people make time for what they truly want, and it's true. When a man prioritizes you, you won't have to chase him, decode his mixed signals, or feel like an option instead of a priority. He will show you through his actions that you are someone he values, respects, and chooses to make space for in his life. And that is a powerful, undeniable sign of real attraction. When a man truly likes you, he listens not just to the words you say, but to the emotions behind them. He isn't just waiting for his turn to speak or offering surface-level responses. He is genuinely engaged in what you're sharing. This kind of deep listening is rare because it requires effort, emotional intelligence, and a real desire to understand you. And that's exactly why it's such a powerful sign of genuine interest. Psychologists have long studied the way people listen in relationships. There's a difference between passive hearing and active listening. Passive hearing happens when someone acknowledges your words but doesn't internalize them. Active listening, on the other hand, is about presence. It's when someone truly absorbs what you're saying, responds thoughtfully, and remembers the details that matter to you. When a man is genuinely interested in you, he listens actively. He doesn't just nod absent-mindedly, he engages. He asks follow-up questions, seeks to understand your perspective, and even recalls details later, sometimes in ways that surprise you. Think about it. Have you ever mentioned something small like your favorite book, a childhood memory, or a specific goal you've been working toward, only to have him bring it up weeks later? That's not by accident. That's because he cares. He values what you say enough to store it in his memory, even when it's not directly relevant to him. And that level of attentiveness is a major indicator that you're not just someone he's passing time with. You're someone who matters. But it goes deeper than just remembering things. A man who truly listens doesn't just retain information. He adjusts based on what he learns about you. If he notices that certain topics excite you, he'll bring them up more often. If he realizes something makes you uncomfortable, he'll be mindful of it. This is his way of showing that he respects your feelings, your boundaries, and your experiences. He isn't just listening for the sake of conversation. He's listening to understand you as a person. And here's the real test. How does he respond when you talk about something meaningful to you? Does he dismiss it, change the subject, or seem distracted? Or does he lean in, ask thoughtful questions, and make you feel heard? When a man likes you, he wants to know you, not just on a surface level, but in a way that allows him to truly connect with you. He's not just interested in what you say. He's interested in what it means to you. Another powerful sign? The way he listens when you're struggling. Many people are comfortable engaging in light-hearted conversation, but when the topic turns serious, when you're upset, frustrated, or vulnerable, that's when true listening is tested. A man who truly likes you won't rush to fix everything or brush past your emotions. He'll sit with you in that moment, offering his presence and understanding. He won't make you feel like a burden for sharing your struggles. Instead, he'll make you feel safe. This kind of listening builds trust. It's what makes someone feel truly seen and valued, and it's one of the clearest ways to tell if a man's feelings for you are real. Because the truth is, attraction alone doesn't make someone a great listener, but respect, care, and emotional investment, those are the things that make a man genuinely listen, not just to your words, but to you. When a man truly likes you, his protective instincts come alive, not in a possessive or controlling way, but in a deeply ingrained subconscious desire to ensure your safety and well-being. This is something that runs deep in male psychology. Evolutionary biologists call it the protector instinct, a man's innate drive to shield those he cares about from harm, whether that harm is physical, emotional, or even just a minor inconvenience. You'll notice this instinct in subtle ways. It's the way he naturally walks on the side of the sidewalk closer to traffic without thinking. It's how he reaches out when you're stepping off a curb, instinctively offering his hand. It's the way his posture shifts slightly if you're in a crowded place, subtly positioning himself between you and anything that might make you uncomfortable. These aren't things he's consciously planning to do. They just happen because, on a deep level, he wants to keep you safe. But this protective nature isn't just about physical safety. When a man genuinely cares for you, he also becomes protective of your emotions. He pays attention to what upsets you, what stresses you out, and what makes you feel uneasy. If someone disrespects you in conversation, he notices. If you're feeling overwhelmed, he steps in, not to take control, but to support you in a way that makes you feel secure. He doesn't brush off your worries with a casual, "You're overthinking it." Instead, he validates your feelings, offering reassurance without making you feel weak or incapable. This protective instinct also shows up in how he speaks about you to others. If a friend or acquaintance makes an offhand comment that disrespects you, he won't laugh it off, he'll correct them. If someone tries to undermine you, he'll step in and back you up. Not in a way that draws unnecessary attention, but in a way that makes it clear he respects and values you. Because when a man likes you, he won't just admire you in private, he'll stand up for you in public. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Protection, in its truest form, isn't about dominance or control, it's about presence. It's about a man wanting to be someone you can rely on, not because he sees you as fragile, but because he sees you as important. And this kind of protection doesn't always come in grand, dramatic gestures. Often, it's in the smallest things. Does he check in to make sure you got home safely? Does he notice when you're cold and offer his jacket? Does he step in when you're in an uncomfortable situation, guiding you away from it without making a big deal? These actions may seem minor, but they reveal something profound. He is thinking about you. A man's protective nature is one of the strongest indicators of how much he values you, because let's be honest, men don't protect what they don't care about. If he's indifferent, he won't notice when you're uncomfortable. If he's only mildly interested, he won't go out of his way to make sure you feel safe. But if he genuinely likes you, his protective side will show in ways that are both subtle and undeniable. And here's the ultimate test. How does he react when you're struggling? If you're having a bad day, if you're anxious, if you're feeling lost, does he step up or step back? A man who truly likes you won't distance himself when things get tough. He'll be there not to fix everything, but to remind you that you're not alone. Because real protection isn't just about shielding you from harm. It's about making you feel safe in his presence, no matter what life throws your way. When a man truly likes you, he prioritizes you not just in words, but in actions. This is one of the clearest ways to distinguish between someone who is merely interested and someone who genuinely values you. A man's priorities are revealed in how he spends his time, how he responds to you, and the effort he makes to include you in his life. If he likes you, you won't have to wonder where you stand. His actions will make it clear. One of the most powerful indicators of genuine interest is consistency. A man who likes you won't just show enthusiasm one day and disappear the next. He won't leave you second-guessing whether he cares. Instead, he will create a steady presence in your life, making time for you even when he's busy. And that's the key. Making time. Everyone has responsibilities, work obligations, personal projects, and social commitments. But when a man prioritizes you, he finds a way to make space for you in his world. Even if he's caught up with work or other commitments, he'll check in, send a message, or find small ways to remind you that you matter to him. Psychologists talk about the difference between interest and investment in relationships. Interest is easy. It's the initial attraction, the excitement of something new. But investment? That takes effort, and effort only comes when someone truly cares. A man who likes you won't just say he wants to see you, he'll make plans and follow through. He won't just respond when it's convenient, he'll be proactive, showing that he values your presence in his life. And here's something crucial. Prioritizing you doesn't mean he has to drop everything for you. It doesn't mean he has to be available 24/7. What it means is that he makes a conscious effort to include you in his routine. He introduces you to the things that matter to him. If he has a favorite hobby, he might invite you to be part of it. If he has close friends, he'll want you to meet them. If he has goals and aspirations, he'll share them with you. This is his way of integrating you into his life, because when a man truly likes you, he wants you to be part of his world, not just a temporary distraction. But prioritization isn't just about making time. It's also about how he treats you in that time. When you're together, is he fully present or is he distracted? Does he engage in meaningful conversation, or does he seem to just go through the motions? A man who likes you won't just spend time with you, he'll value that time. He'll make you feel seen, heard, and appreciated. And here's a simple but telling sign. When you need him, how does he respond? If something important happens in your life, good or bad, does he acknowledge it? Does he reach out when you're struggling? Does he celebrate your wins with you? A man who prioritizes you doesn't just show up when it's convenient, he's there when it matters. But perhaps the most revealing test of all is how he balances his priorities. Life is busy, and no one can give unlimited time to just one person. But when a man truly likes you, he will adjust his life to make space for you. He won't make you feel like an afterthought or a backup plan. You won't have to beg for his attention or wonder if you're important to him. Because when a man prioritizes you, his actions will remove all doubt. When a man truly likes you, he listens, not just with his ears, but with his full attention, his actions, and his intentions. Listening might seem like a basic skill, but in reality it's one of the most powerful indicators of genuine interest. Because in a world filled with distractions, half-hearted conversations, and surface-level interactions, deep and intentional listening is rare. A man who likes you doesn't just hear your words, he absorbs them, remembers them, and acts on them. You'll notice this in the small things. Maybe you casually mention your favorite coffee order once, and the next time you see him, he surprises you with it. Or perhaps you told him about a tough day at work, and later he checks in to see how you're feeling. These moments aren't just thoughtful gestures, they're proof that he's paying attention. A man who listens truly values what you have to say, no matter how big or small. But listening isn't just about remembering details, it's about understanding. When you talk about something that excites you, he doesn't just nod absent-mindedly. He asks questions, engages, and shows genuine curiosity. If you're upset, he doesn't rush to give unsolicited advice or dismiss your feelings. He creates space for you to express yourself without judgment. This kind of listening is rare because it requires emotional presence, and a man who is emotionally present is a man who cares. Pay attention to how he reacts when you talk. Does he look at his phone, distracted, giving only half-hearted responses? Or does he maintain eye contact, nod in understanding, and respond in a way that shows he's fully engaged? Body language speaks volumes. When a man truly likes you, his posture will lean in when you speak, his eyes will stay locked on you, and his facial expressions will mirror your emotions. These unconscious actions show that he's not just hearing you, he's connecting with you. But perhaps the most telling sign of all is this: does he remember the things that matter to you? A man who listens will bring up past conversations because they stuck with him. He'll recall your dreams, your fears, your little quirks, not because he's making an effort to impress you, but because he genuinely values knowing you on a deeper level. This is what separates someone who is merely interested from someone who is invested. And here's something crucial. True listening isn't just about words, it's about actions. If you express something important to him, does he take it to heart? If you tell him you don't like something, does he respect that? If you share a need, does he try to meet it? Because a man who truly listens doesn't just store information, he applies it. There's a reason listening is one of the strongest indicators of real attraction. It requires patience, effort, and a willingness to understand you beyond the surface. A man who listens deeply is a man who sees you as someone worth knowing, not just someone to pass the time with. And the best part? You won't have to wonder if he's listening. You'll feel it in every interaction. When a man truly likes you, he makes you feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. This kind of security is one of the strongest indicators of real affection, because it requires more than just attraction or interest. It requires care. In a world where relationships can often feel uncertain, inconsistent, or confusing, a man who genuinely likes you will stand apart in one key way. He will make sure you never have to question his intentions. Emotional safety is one of the deepest human needs, and it is rare to find. It goes beyond simply being kind or respectful. A man who makes you feel safe will be consistent. His actions will match his words. You won't experience emotional whiplash, wondering if he still likes you one day and feeling ignored the next. Instead, his energy, attention, and communication will have a steady rhythm. Even if life gets busy, even if challenges arise, he won't suddenly disappear, become distant, or send mixed signals. He will make sure you know you matter to him. One of the biggest signs of emotional safety is honesty. A man who likes you will be clear about his feelings, his intentions, and where you stand in his life. He won't play games, string you along, or keep you guessing. If he says he'll call, he calls. If he makes plans, he follows through. And when he can't, he communicates, not out of obligation, but out of respect. This kind of honesty builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful connection. But safety isn't just about words. It's about how he makes you feel when you're with him. Do you feel free to be yourself, without fear of judgment? Can you express your thoughts, opinions, and emotions without worrying about how he'll react? A man who likes you will create an environment where you feel comfortable being vulnerable. He won't dismiss your feelings or make you feel small. Instead, he will listen, validate, and show that your emotions matter to him. Beyond emotional safety, there's also mental safety. This means he respects your mind, your choices, and your individuality. He won't try to control you, pressure you, or make you feel like you have to change to earn his affection. Instead, he will celebrate who you are, encouraging your growth rather than restricting it. A man who likes you won't make you feel like you have to shrink yourself to fit into his life. He will make space for you to expand. And then there's physical safety. It's not just about protection in the traditional sense. It's about how he treats you in everyday interactions. Does he respect your boundaries? Does he ensure you feel comfortable in his presence? Does he act with care and consideration, whether it's through small gestures like walking you to your car or making sure you get home safely? These details matter because they reveal his instinct to protect, not just with words but with actions. At the core of it all, safety is what allows love to grow. When you feel safe with someone, you can open up, connect deeply, and build something real. A man who likes you won't just make you feel excited. He'll make you feel at peace. You won't have to chase his attention, decode his messages, or wonder if he's serious about you. His actions will make it clear, and in a world full of uncertainty, that clarity is the most valuable thing of all.